Today we're moving the front speaker from a 2002 Ford Explorer. We're going to start with emptying the contents from the pocket. Otherwise we may end up dumping them out all on the ground. But we're going to start with our pry bar, and with our pry bar we're going to pry this panel out from around the door handle. And this should release pretty simple. This one always looks like it's just pry the grill off and you get access to the speaker, but that's not it at all. So we're going to feed that off. There's several clips that hold it in place here at the front edge, and you release the front edge, and the back tabs that are behind the panel, as you pull it forward, will release. Next, the control panel that goes on the door, we're going to pull this up. This will pull up out of the panel. We have three connectors here. These connectors all have triggers on them. And you squeeze the trigger down on them and it releases the connector. Sometimes thumb pressure is not enough on them, and you need a little screwdriver to push down on the tab to release these connectors. There's one. There's two. One's towards the front here. So I'm going to remove those and set this panel to the side. Now with this panel removed, this is going to give us access to one screw that sits here in the front of the opening here on a white piece that secures the door to the panel to the door, and this is a 7/32 screw, and we're going to remove this one screw. And this is going to allow us to move down to the bottom of the door panel and remove two more screws. One on the back of the on the bottom of the panel, and one towards the front here as well. We have a full library of removal guides on our website, cclarstereohelp.com, if you need help with that. Now with the screws removed, this is going to allow us to grasp the handle, and we're going to pull the door panel straight up. There are hooks on the back of the panel that go down into the door, and this is going to allow us to lift it up and pull the door panel back away from the door. Now here on the back side of the panel here we have several more connectors, one that's going to the mirrors and one that's going for the setting the seat positions, and these have triggers on them again, and we're going to take this little trigger and push this trigger down, and that's going to allow us to remove this connector. Same for the one up here at the top at the controls, the triggers on the side of this one. We're going to push this one through. This will allow us to locate the trigger on this one. This one has a lift trigger, so we're going to need our flathead screwdriver in order to lift the trigger. Okay. Here on the back of the door panel are the hooks I had mentioned. They go all along the bottom of the door, and they fit into the little slots on the door, so that you have to push this panel onto the door and then down to lock it back into place. As for the connectors from the control panel, these had triggers on the back. This one had a little trigger you push down with your thumb. It releases the little lock and you're able to remove it. Same for the blue one. You push the trigger down on that and it releases the lock and you can remove it. And the final one on the control panel is the same way. Now we had the two at the front of the door panel. After taking the door panel off to access, this one had a trigger on the back, and the other one has a little trigger that's on it, and you have to take your flathead screwdriver in and pry up the little piece that goes behind it to remove that. Now this is going to give access to the speaker. Socket to a 6mm and remove the 4 screws securing the speaker to the door. If you're looking at installing aftermarket on this car, you should see our website for our speaker phasing so that you get the hookup properly to the aftermarket speaker if you're installing that. We're going to pull this out. There is a trigger at the top of this connector, and we're going to squeeze that down, and that's going to allow us to remove this connector. There we go. A little bit of water damage there, but we're going to replace this speaker, and hope this video has been helpful. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching.